The relationship between xn and n can be described by capital N equations. Right? If it is infinitely long, in that case, it need not be periodic. It need not be periodic. Periodic is not a necessity. If it is infinitely long, in that case, it must be represented by a function. It must be represented by a function. For example, e raised to minus mod n, or e raised to minus n square. E raised to minus n square. What will happen? It will be 0 at n equal to 0, and it will always have its length changing. Is it clear? So these are different types of xn's which we have to handle. Right? Then discrete time Fourier transform is a mapping by which we are trying to view the components in xn. We are trying to view components in xn. Or xn can be like this. It is 0, one-sided sequence one can say. It is 0 for n less than 0, and it is equal to e raised to minus n for n greater than 0. So what the sequence would be? All zeros and then 1, and it will go like this. It will go like this. Or in this way. So any sequence given, an attempt be made to view that sequence as summation of multiple subsequences. Each of them is behaving in a predefined manner. How many multiple? Infinite multiple. Infinite multiple. Do you really need infinite multiple? Or our job would be finished in finite multiple sequences? Viewing the given sequence to be comprised of multiple subsequences, whether to represent the given sequence exactly as summation of multiple subsequences, do you really need infinite subsequence always? In many cases, you would be getting the same represented by finite subsequences. In which cases? Number one, always in case of finite length sequences. Always in case of finite length sequences with a small variation that we will discuss. Always in case of infinite length sequences which are repetitive in nature. But you cannot get it in such sequences which are infinite, which are deterministic but not repetitive. For that purpose, more components you take, you go more close to actual sequence, and then at some point of time you may stop. So discrete time Fourier transform is providing me the nature of variation which exists in a sequence. Discrete time Fourier transform is providing me the nature of variation which exists within a sequence. And then what I can do, I have a processing strategy which means if this is partially understood by everybody, then DSP becomes very easy. Have a sequence. That sequence is considered as sum of multiple sequences. Each of these sequences is processed separately. Process means what? Is scaled, that's all. Processing is what you can do in linear time invariant systems. Processing means you can simply scale it by a two-dimensional number. Scaling by two-dimensional number means shifting and enhancing. Multiplying by one-dimensional number means enhancing. Multiplying by two-dimensional number means enhancing and shifting. So, Xn is considered as comprised of multiple components, and each of these components, so now we have to move ahead also. As learnability is important, moving ahead is equally important, otherwise we will be stuck up. So, what is digital signal processing or discrete time signal processing? So, Xn is here, is considered to be comprised of X0n till Xn minus 1n, where each of these are in general I am trying my level best. Xn is considered to be a summation of, it is not DFT, it is piecewise DTFT. It is summation of x of j, what do you use, m, x of m e raised to x of n is being looked as summation of capital M subsequences, where each of the such subsequences is of this nature, is having a two-dimensional constant as its amplitude, not amplitude, a two-dimensional constant xm, and is moving in this particular manner. So we have xmn is equal to xm e raised to minus j 2 pi upon m and n. So each of the subsequences of this type. So my xn is combination of xmn's, where m is ranging from 0 to capital M minus 1, and then it is, so my sequence is sum of this. Then in processing, what I am doing, in processing I am multiplying So in my processing, what I have got? My transfer function. So I can have h of m means I multiply h of m is m dependent. So I have got x0 of n as x0 only, x1 of n as x1 e raised to minus 2 pi upon m n, x2 of n is equal to x2 e raised to minus j 2 pi upon m into 2 n, like this. This capital M can be 1 lakh, 1 crore, whatever you may like to have. Then, so my xn is sum of all these. So that is available. So I am able to decompose. So I have complete, I will have its parts. Then, so xn is available in parts. Xn is available in parts. Then to each part I will deal separately. I will deal separately with each part. Ultimately, dealing separately means what? What can be done in an LTI system? Simply, I will multiply x0 by some value. With that value, I will not multiply x1. I will multiply x1 by some other value, x2 by some other value. So, I have full, I separate the parts, I process the parts and I add the parts. I add the processed parts and I get full. Full xn is available, divided into parts. Parts are processed separately and processed parts are added and we get y. Process means what? Multiplying by something. Capital H0, capital H1, capital H2. So we find that some features of xn are boosted in yn, some features of xn are suppressed in y. Then there would be very simple processing. What would be very simple processing? Simple processing is h0 should be 1 and h1 to hm should be 0. h1 to h1. Now processing means what? Processing means multiplying by hm, where hm is a function of m, function of small m. So h0, h1, h2. I have a very simple function. h0 is 0 and h1 onwards all are ones. What will happen? Let us take reverse. h0 0 and all things are all ones. What will happen? What will be output? What will be output? Or you can think reverse way. h0 as 1 and all others are 0. So what will be getting as yn? No. Capital H0 is 1. Now we take this is 1 and others are zeros. So what will be getting? We will be getting only, so this x0n is this. So what is y0n? Y0n is x0 h0, y1n x1 h1 e raised to this, y2n x2 h2 e raised to this. So what would be y0n? Y0n would be x0 itself and y1 into y, all others are zeros. So what is yn? Summation of this. So what is that? Y0n. What is it then?
X0.
Capital X0. What is capital X0? Constant. How we obtain that? It's a DC constant actually. So it will give me DC value. Xn, whatever we may have, its DC value will be y. it would be low pass filter with cutoff frequency immediately after 0. If you go reverse, H0 is 0 and others has 1, then what we are having, what we are getting? It would be DC would be removed from signal. DC would be removed. Like this. So digital signal processing is something which there are some subjects which can be understood, but we are unable to work on it, we are unable to perform the experiments. Then maybe with some subjects. For DSP, with I do not know boon or curse of MATLAB, everybody would be able to perform and demonstrate the DSP experiments. Because there are many, what we can say, tools available, many predefined functions, and seniors are at our rescue. So you must have obtained the experiments, even if you might not have obtained the DVDs. Then digital signal processing, one can perform experiment very well. He will show input signal, he will show some function, the HN, he will show output signal, but unable to understand. So digital signal processing is something which can be performed but not understood. Means performing without understanding and understanding without performing. We do not want both. So since you are able to perform, we should be able to interpret what we have performed. If you are unable to interpret, then it doesn't have much meaning. So this is important. What is otherwise that structures and all that, if you go through the syllabi, you will find that you may use the book of Sanjay Mitra or of Afenam Shafar, or I think that you are not much conversant with those books. You might be very much familiar with Ramesh Babu. Nowadays that is not an issue because multiple soft copies or e-books are available. Or if Google is again at our rescue, something thing which you think that you have not understood, if you give it, you get a lot of literature. But attempt should be to understand what is being done, because its implementation is very easy. As I had already stated, entire DSP cannot be something beyond that simple box wherein Yn is equal to weighted sum of current and previous inputs and previous outputs. That's all. If previous outputs are not considered and inputs are finite, it is a FIR system. If inputs you consider are infinite, that you can't do because of limitation of computer, so IR system without recursion cannot be implemented. If you use at least one previous output, then automatically it becomes a IR system. So output is simply a combination of a weighted sum or a weighted combination of current and past inputs and few past outputs. So that is very simple to implement. That is very simple to implement. But the only thing is that we must be able to find out what we exactly get by implementation. What we exactly get by implementation. So it is said that Yn is equal to convolution of Xn and Hn. Yn is convolution of Xn and Hn. When Yn is convolution of Xn and Hn, if you take discrete time Fourier transform, then Y of omega becomes, and again what is the case here? Everything is a sequence. Everything is a sequence. So since everything is a sequence, you can have transform for everything. Xn as well as Yn as well as Hn also. So in that situation, what do we get? We get Yn is equal, Y omega is equal to H omega X of omega. You can find Z transform also. Finding Z transform is just a technique by which it is very easy for us to describe Hz. Hz is better described. Otherwise what happens? Otherwise describing Hn becomes difficult. For example, we now hoping that our experiments on learnability are to be over now. We try to move to the first chapter of DSP structures. We have a simple equation. Yn is equal to half xn plus half xn minus 1. This is simple low pass filter. This is simple low pass filter. If we further consider Yn is, what is Hn here? Hn is half. H0 is half, H1 is half. It is very simple. H0 is half, H1 is half. Yn is equal to Xn plus half Yn minus 1. Now what will be Hn? So let us start with the class work. Find out Hn for the system equation given as the absence of students is beyond a tolerable limit, so you immediately give me message, give the message to the students when they come to assemble for practicals of contacting me by the time. Today we are also engaging at what time? What is the 1:15 lecture? So we will be engaging at 2:15, right? So ask everybody to be there at 2:15. Regarding tutorial, necessary instructions have been given to you and necessary communication has been completed with the, my fellow colleagues. So I am fully aware that you are more tutorial savvy than lecture savvy. So in order to see that your tutorial is not missed, the tutorial is rescheduled at 3:15 PM or at the mini project slot or at the mutually convenient slot between you and the concerned teacher. So henceforth, the question that at 2:15 there will not be any tutorial now. At 2:15, 3 days there will be DSP lecture. I have shifted EMI lectures on 2 days because at 2:15 I am supposed to engage extra class for second year. Therefore, what I have done by all these arrangements, I have ensured that we engage for 8 hours a week. And you inform all the absent students to be here at 2:15, and then at 2:15, after our lecture is over, you give this recording to them. And or we can have ask one of them to bring the laptop. So we will be having a compulsory viewing of the lecture by absent students today itself. Hoping that they will view it later on their own, it cannot work now. So an absent student means immediately what we should have. We should have immediate recording and availability of data on pen drive, so that a student when misses the lecture, he has to view it preferably before the next lecture, so the same day evening or next day at some suitable slot. So you inform absent students to be available immediately today. They must be available at 2:15 today, and ask few of them to bring the laptop. And you provide the pen drive information that time for this lecture at least, so that we can have from today onwards, we will have in place compensation. In place compensation means that they will undergo the recorded version immediately on the same day or at least on the next day. How did you find it out? So, finding out of HN, anybody other has found out HN? HN, how you found out? HN is not half raised to n, it is wrong answer. Half raised to n un, because before 0 it is 0. You finished HN? Or you are discussing how to compute HN? Students discussing something on HN, XN, YN, HZ is something which is beyond my imagination. What's your number? So Z transform comes to our rescue. Z transform comes to our rescue. So Z transform is a good tool which provides us better analysis of the system. You can find it otherwise also. You can find it otherwise also by suitable convolution and that, but that is not so immediately traceable by us. So when we take Z transform, Yn Z transform is YZ, Xn Z transform is XZ, and we use property of Z transform, that is Z transform of a shifted sequence is equal to Z raised to minus 1. So it is half Z raised to minus 1 Y of Z. And then taking Y of Z on the other side, we get Y of Z is equal to what? 1 upon 1 minus, no? Minus half Z inverse X of Z. And this we can find inverse transform, and that happens to be half raised to n un. Means half raised to n un, one may not understand correctly. It is 1, half, 1/4, 1/8, 1/16, 1/3, like this. So when we plot it like this, we understand. So that's what we are doing. My output is the weighted average of all previous inputs. Output is the weighted average of all previous inputs. The weights reduce as I go deeper. The weights reduce as I go deep for the inputs. Is it clear? Then now let us have it one simple one, that Yn is equal to xn plus yn minus 1. Find hn. Hn is un. Hn becomes un. It is very simple, that yz is equal to xz plus z inverse yz. Now, what is our comment on the behavior of the system? What will happen? It's an accumulator. Yn is addition of all samples. Will this be a stable system? will this be a stable system? Yes? How? How is absolutely simple? As n grows, or even if we have got xn before n, before 0, what will happen? It's not absolutely summable. Hn is un is not absolutely summable. Sum of un is infinite. Sum of un is infinite. Yes or no? So what will happen in this case? A bounded input, will it result into a bounded output? Actually, we are at a boundary condition here. We are at a boundary condition. I can make it as AYN in general plus AYN. So what will happen now? If A is less than 1, what happens? What is my Hn in this case now? Hn is A raised to n. If my A is greater than 1, it is clearly unbounded. If my A is less than 1, if A is less than 1, it is stable system. If A is greater than 1, it is unstable system. If A is equal to 1, it is a marginally stable system. What do we mean by stable system?